There is a path few dare to walk, a path that is often misunderstood, even ridiculed. It is the path of the fool. At first glance, it may seem absurd, even laughable. Who in their right mind would choose to be a fool in a world that prizes intelligence, success, and sophistication? Yet history, literature, and spirituality reveal that the fool's path is not what it seems. It is not a path of ignorance, but one of profound wisdom, not a path of failure, but one of liberation. To walk this path is to challenge the very essence of what society holds dear. In a world obsessed with achievement, where every moment is spent striving for success, the fool stands as a figure of quiet rebellion. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to measure our worth by what we accomplish. We are told to strive, to compete, to prove ourselves worthy. But where does this relentless pursuit lead us? Often it leads to exhaustion, disconnection, and a hollow sense of despair. The fool offers us an alternative, a path that dares to step off the treadmill of ambition and into the freedom of simply being. This is not an act of laziness or resignation. It is an act of courage. To walk the fool's path is to challenge everything society holds sacred. It is to question the very foundations of what we call success. It is to embrace the idea that perhaps wisdom lies not in achievement, but in surrender, in simplicity, and in the acceptance of life as it is. Leo Tolstoy, one of the greatest thinkers and writers in history, understood the profound power of the fool. His own journey through life was marked by a search for meaning, one that took him from the pursuit of wealth, fame, and pleasure to a deeper understanding of life's true purpose. In his later years, Tolstoy turned away from the privileges of his aristocratic upbringing and sought a simpler, more authentic existence. He came to believe that true wisdom was not found in intellectual sophistication or material success, but in humility, in living close to the earth, and in embracing the rhythms of nature. In his work War and Peace, Tolstoy presents the character of Platon Karatayev, a peasant whose wisdom is grounded in simplicity. Karatayev is a man of no formal education, yet he radiates a kind of wisdom that the most learned characters in the novel lack. His speech is filled with simple truths, often expressed through folk sayings, but these truths cut deeper than the most eloquent philosophical treatise. Through Karatayev, Tolstoy teaches us that life's greatest wisdom is often hidden in plain sight. It is not found in the pursuit of greatness, but in the quiet acceptance of what is. Tolstoy's own life mirrored this ideal. In his later years, he gave up his wealth, dressed as a peasant, and sought to live by the principles he had come to believe in. To many, this seemed like madness. But to Tolstoy, it was liberation. He had stepped off the treadmill of ambition and into the freedom of the fool's path. He understood that the things we chase, wealth, power, recognition, are ultimately illusions. They promise happiness but deliver only emptiness. Fyodor Dostoevsky, another literary giant, also recognized the power of the fool. His portrayal of the fool, however, is more complex, more paradoxical. Dostoevsky's fool is often a figure of spiritual insight, someone who stands apart from the corruption and cynicism of society. Take Prince Myshkin from The Idiot. Myshkin is described as a Christ-like figure, a man of pure heart and unwavering compassion. Yet his goodness is seen as foolishness by those around him. In a world driven by greed, power, and self-interest, Myshkin's selflessness makes him an outcast. But here lies the paradox. Myshkin's so-called foolishness reveals the moral bankruptcy of those who judge him. His purity acts as a mirror, reflecting the darkness in others. In this sense, the fool becomes a kind of prophet, a voice crying out in the wilderness, challenging the status quo and calling humanity to a higher standard. Dostoevsky believed that the holy fool was closer to God than the most pious scholar because the fool's heart is unclouded by pride. He does not seek to dominate or control, he simply is, and in that being he embodies a truth that transcends words. What makes the fool so powerful is that he holds up a mirror to society. In a world that values success and status, the fool's refusal to play by these rules forces us to confront the emptiness of these pursuits. His very existence challenges the societal structures that define our worth. When we look at the fool, we are forced to ask ourselves, what do we truly value? Are we living in alignment with our deepest truths, or are we simply following the crowd? The fool, in this sense, is a radical figure. He is a critic of the established order, not through force or violence, but through his very being. He shows us that there is another way to live, one that does not depend on the approval of others or the accumulation of wealth. This path, though often misunderstood, offers a deeper form of freedom, a freedom that is not tied to success, but to authenticity and inner peace. In a society where everything is measured by external markers, status, wealth, achievements, the fool offers a radically different perspective. He does not seek validation from the outside world. He is not concerned with being admired or respected. His worth is not determined by what he has, but by who he is. The fool teaches us that true freedom comes not from accumulating possessions or accolades, but from letting go of the need for them. He shows us that we are enough as we are, that our worth is inherent, not earned. One of the most powerful aspects of the fool's path is the liberation that comes with letting go. Letting go of the need to succeed, to control, and to define ourselves by external measures. This is not an easy process. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to face the unknown. But it also offers a profound sense of freedom. When we let go of the need to achieve, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to perform. We are no longer slaves to the expectations of others, nor are we bound by the fear of failure. This liberation is not about giving up on life or resigning ourselves to mediocrity. It is about embracing life as it is, without the need to constantly shape it into something else. It is about accepting ourselves, with all our flaws and imperfections, and finding peace in the present moment. To live as the fool is to live without the burden of self-imposed expectations, to embrace the spontaneity of existence and trust that everything will unfold as it is meant to. At its core, the fool's path is a spiritual journey. It is a journey of self-discovery, of shedding the layers of ego and illusion that separate us from our true selves. The fool does not seek enlightenment through intellectual pursuits or external achievements. Instead, he finds wisdom in simplicity, in humility, and in the acceptance of life as it unfolds. This journey is not linear. It is filled with moments of doubt, confusion, and struggle. But it is also filled with moments of profound insight and grace. The fool's path is one of constant learning, of opening ourselves to the mysteries of existence, and of embracing the unknown with trust and faith. The fool teaches us that wisdom is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it is quiet, hidden in acts of kindness, in moments of vulnerability, in the courage to be different. In today's world, the fool's path is more relevant than ever. We live in an age of constant distraction, where success is measured by likes, followers, and material wealth. The pressure to conform is overwhelming, and the pursuit of external validation has become a dominant force in shaping our lives. In this context, the fool's path stands as a radical and much-needed counterpoint. It invites us to break free from the shackles of societal expectations and to reconnect with a deeper, more authentic way of being. The fool does not seek to change the world through force or revolution, but through the simple act of being true to oneself. In a world that often feels lost in the pursuit of superficial goals, the fool reminds us of the power of stillness, simplicity, and surrender. To walk the fool's path today is to embrace the unknown, to let go of the need for control, and to trust in the natural flow of life. It is to recognize that wisdom does not always come from intellect or achievement, but from the ability to see the world with fresh eyes, to appreciate its beauty and mystery without the need to dissect or possess it. The fool teaches us to be present, to accept life as it is, and to find joy in the moments that often go unnoticed in the rush of our daily lives. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it is easy to forget the timeless wisdom that the fool embodies. We are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we are not enough, that we must do more, achieve more, and be more in order to be valued. This relentless pressure can leave us feeling disconnected from ourselves and from the world around us. The fool, however, offers us a way out of this cycle. By embracing the fool's path, we can reclaim our sense of inner peace and freedom. The fool's path is not a rejection of the world, but a return to it. It is a return to the present moment, to the beauty and wonder that exists in the simplest of things. The fool teaches us that we do not need to strive for perfection or accumulate possessions to find fulfillment. True contentment comes from within, from the ability to accept ourselves as we are, and to embrace the fullness of life with all its ups and downs. The fool's path also challenges us to let go of our rigid ideas about success and failure. In a world that often equates success with external markers, money, status, power, the fool reminds us that success is not something to be achieved, but something to be experienced. Success is not about winning, but about being fully present in each moment, embracing life's imperfections, and finding peace in the process. Ultimately, the fool's path is a search for meaning. It is a search for a deeper understanding of who we are and what our place in the world is. In a society that often values external accomplishments over inner growth, the fool reminds us that true meaning is not found in what we do, but in who we are. The fool's path is not a path of doing, but of being. It is a journey of self-discovery, of peeling away the layers of ego and illusion that obscure our true nature. In this search for meaning, the fool teaches us the value of paradox. Life is full of contradictions, and the fool embraces these contradictions rather than trying to resolve them. The fool understands that wisdom often comes from embracing the unknown, from living with uncertainty, and from accepting the mysteries of existence. The fool does not seek to explain everything, but to experience it fully, to live with an open heart and mind, free from the need for answers. In the end, the fool's path is a path of liberation. It is a liberation from the need for external validation, from the pressures of societal expectations, and from the constant pursuit of success. The fool offers us a way to live authentically, to embrace life's uncertainties, and to find peace in the present moment. His wisdom lies not in what he knows, but in his ability to simply be, to live without the burden of self-imposed expectations, and to find joy in the simplicity of existence. To walk the fool's path is to embrace life as it is, with all its contradictions, its beauty and its pain. It is to live with an open heart, free from the need to control or define everything. It is to trust in the flow of life, knowing that wisdom will emerge when we least expect it. The fool's path is not for everyone, but for those who are willing to take the leap, it offers a profound sense of freedom and peace. It is a reminder that the greatest wisdom often comes not from the mind, but from the heart. And in the heart of the fool, we find the deepest truth of all, that we are enough, just as we are.